Hello. Hello, everybody. For those of you on the East Coast, happy evening, or end of evening if you're like me. And those on the West Coast, happy start of evening. I guess I'll let a few of you come in here. While I'm waiting for people to join. Hi, Renee. Oh, it does this weird thing. While I'm waiting for people to join, I just want to thank Team Brilliance for inviting me to do this talk with you. This is like one of my absolute favorite things to do, is to talk to people about where they want to head in their life. And, you know, I'm a big fan of finding your North Star and all of that. So this is very exciting for me. So thank you for having me. Hi, Suzanne. It's great seeing you this weekend. Just adjusting this. Yeah, I guess I'll jump right in. I know you guys are all busy. Everyone's got a bunch of things going on. And really the purpose of this is not for you guys to, I don't think it is. I hope Xander agrees with me, but not to have you necessarily say, okay, LimeLight is the perfect place for you and everything about it is perfect and it's just totally where you should be. I am a huge advocate of helping women really find their happiness, find their path. And you know, it may be here at LimeLight, it may be somewhere else. If you are not in direct sales, I strongly advise you to look into this business model and to find a company that you really feel comfortable with and connected with. That is hugely important. Sorry, my lighting is doing something bizarro here. I'm sure it's like giving you all a stroke. You know, that's really a big message I want to send to you today. If you're not in direct sales, get into direct sales. It's where this country is moving. It's where retail is moving. I have a lot of inside information as someone who has a retail store and has a traditional beauty business. And I can see a lot of information that comes down the pike. And direct sales is really where this country is migrating because it makes all the sense in the world. It's an amazing model. It's for so many reasons, and I won't get into that, but let me just tell you, it's absolutely something you should be looking into. And then the second thing is, thank you, Tara. The second thing is, if you are already in direct sales and you're with another company and, you know, you just are trying to figure out what's going on with LimeLight, you know, is this something you should look into? I want to thank you for being here. I think research is super important for everyone to feel confident in where they are. Because if you know all your choices out there and you still feel like you're at the right place, then that's great. And you will have a deeper happiness and deeper success as a result of that. So I think that's fantastic. So I'm going to dive right in and just tell you a little bit. I know a lot of you probably already know the history of Alcombe, but I'll tell it from a more personal view, than I usually do, just because, Xandra's in this group. But basically what happened was we were trying to build a sense of community. My family has a professional makeup company that sells direct to the pros all over the world. And they have been so amazing in getting us customers and really helping our business grow. And we weren't always the cheapest place to get things, but they always came to us because they felt like family. And we really built our customer base, that's professional makeup artists, one person at a time, hearing their stories, you know, asking them, what are you trying to do in your life, connecting them with jobs because we cared about them. So my older brother and sister did that for decades. And as a result, we built this brand that really feels like family. Our customers at Alcone feel like family to us. And we had all this other competitors coming in and we thought, you know, we need to help them. They help us so much. We need to help them when they refer someone to us, get an income on that. And then it won't be such a sacrifice when these competitors come in and have lower prices. At least then the professional makeup artist is getting something for, you know, helping us grow our business. So we were trying all these models, affiliate links and everything like that. And nothing really, when you look at those models, it really doesn't pay that person that well. And so we really backed into a direct sales model. And that's how I got into this. And at the time, Xandra was in the middle of killing it at her direct sales company. And I was watching her and she was telling me stories about how these women, you know, were just able to raise their families and pay for substantial portions of their household. And I was so impressed. And I watched her like, you know, she's like an octopus. She can juggle a million things, but like, you know, she's cooking, she's with the kids, she's arts and crafts, and then she's like slaying it in her direct sales job. And, you know, I was like, this is an amazing model, because there's so many talented women in this country who do not want to sacrifice time with their kids, but they're still so incredibly strategic and savvy, and they have so much to offer our economy. Like, this is a great way for them to do it. You know, it's slightly exhausting for them, sometimes very exhausting for them, but it really does allow them to find happiness in every direction, you know. And as a stay-home mom, I know that feeling of like, you know, sometimes when you're just, you know, at Gymboree for hours and you're doing this for hours, and then the laundry's there, and, you know, and Wednesday feels like a Thursday, you know, sometimes you don't feel challenged, and you know you have more to offer, but you don't want to sacrifice the time with your kids, because as mundane as that can get from time to time, it is so incredibly valuable. So anyway, I really saw the power of this business model, seeing it firsthand through Xandra, seeing other people, other friends that I had in direct sales. And I was like, you know what, this is definitely what we want to be doing. This is definitely the direction we should be going. It's like almost like it was calling us, you know? And so we started, and I started doing home parties and going and meeting with women, and they loved the makeup. It was like nothing they had ever seen before. You know, it's professional products, and professional products doesn't mean that you have to be trained in it. It's actually the exact opposite. Professional products means it's a lot easier to use. And so when you're on set or you're working on someone very important in your chair, you know, you're not messing it up. It blends better. It's got better pigmentation. It lasts longer. Like, that is the definition of a professional grade product, makeup product. So they were blown away. I mean, I was loving the feedback I was getting, and I would come home to my husband and be like, we've got something here. I mean, these women feel so much better with this makeup on, and that's what it's all about. So then I realized that there was a skincare component to it that we had to add, because as great as the makeup was, if their skin was not healthy, it wasn't performing to the best of its ability. And so, you know, at the time, my almost sister, she's like a pseudo sister, she was fighting triple negative breast cancer. And she said to me, Michele, you have got to, if you're going to do a skincare line, you have got to do it where the chemicals, you know, it's free of harsh chemicals, dangerous chemicals. And so that's what we started looking for. We started looking for safe skincare. And, you know, there was some companies that were presenting stuff to us that was sort of half safe, half chemicals, but we knew we could do better. And part of it is, you know, as much as I feel like it's a huge thing. I am a huge believer in taking the chemicals out of our skincare. That skincare, by the way, does go into your bloodstream. And that's why skincare for me has got to be chemical free. A lot of people ask, well, is the makeup chemical free? And the truth of the matter is it's very hard to do that. And our roots are really in professional makeup, but it does stay on the dermis. I mean, when you wipe your makeup off at the end of the day, you know, it's basically what you put on, you're taking off. So it's not like it's being absorbed into the skin, and there is nothing that is absorbed necessarily into the skin from our foundation. It's why we don't have a liquid foundation, because we don't feel confident that that's, you know, going to stay on the dermis, because a liquid foundation creates the capability of it going into cell membranes. But anyway, you know, so we are very conscious of that, but that's not our mission. You know, our mission is not that. And I applaud companies that have that mission, because I think it's absolutely necessary. You know, we are very eco-conscious. We're very careful about our packaging. I really try to find as much packaging that's either recycled, biodegradable, all of that. That's why we use paper pallets. So even though we're very environmental and eco-conscious, it's not necessarily our true mission. You know, our mission essentially is to help women understand their worth and be paid for it. And, you know, it took me a long time to get to that mission, that why, because I was learning as I went. And as I'm hearing these stories about these women, I'm going, oh my gosh, like, this is so valuable. But my first step is, these women, a lot of them really don't understand how amazing they are. If they could only see themselves the way I see them, wow, like, think how much better this world could be if women could really start seeing themselves the way that other women see them. And, you know, when your best friend says like, you're the most incredible person in the world, it's because she's seeing you clearly. And all those things inside your head, all those voices and doubts, like, that's not who you are. That's just your mind, you know, bringing up some gunk. So I was like, I really want that to be our mission. And the second piece of that mission is I really want women to be paid their worth. I am very passionate about paying their women their worth. It to me is very frustrating to see how many, you know, centuries have gone by and we've made so many changes as women, but we have not been able to get to this level where people really understand how smart, savvy, valuable we are. We make incredibly caring and conscientious decisions. We're very thoughtful about things. And so that for me is really important to make sure that women are paid their value. The reason why I am so passionate about that is women invest their money very differently from men. They invest their money in their communities, in education, in causes that they care about. And so if you really want to change this country and you want to change this world, statistically, your best investment is in women. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And so that is something I'm very passionate about. So anyway, you know, we have we had the makeup, we had the skincare, and now we have this mission. And so it really has been a journey that I have been on, and it's been quite an adventure. But I will say this, and I think it's really important no matter what company you are looking at, you have to trust that your leadership is doing absolutely everything in the best interest of the field. And I really do. I really do. And when I make a decision that's in the long-term health of the company, that is in the best interest of the field. I am not in this to promote myself. I'm not in this to get rich. I'm not in this for any other reason than to really help women be paid the worth that they put into building a business. Because as you know, this job is not easy at all. So when I make a decision, I really try to make a decision from the standpoint of, can we make this decision and get more money in the pockets of women? And can we do it in a way that's going to keep the company healthy in the long run? And so, you know, we built this compensation plan that was very aggressive. We had incredibly smart architects build this with us. They had built compensation plans in so many direct sales companies. And so when I went to them, they said, okay, here's the backbone of the company. You wanted to do this. You wanted to be aggressive. Here's the backbone. Now here's sort of like an a la carte choice of everything you can add to this comp plan that would be attractive to people. And I'm looking at it, I'm going, okay, well, can we add all of it? Like, why wouldn't we add all of these? I actually love all of these. And they were like, well, you know, it takes out from the profits of the company. And I'm like, are we going to be healthy when we grow? Like, can we keep this going? Or are we going to get to a point where we're just going to implode? And they're like, no, you can actually bring it all in. And so I said, let's do that. But it really did two things for me. One is it made sure that I was paying people as aggressively as we could. And it's working great. Overall, as a company, we are one of the highest paying direct sales companies. And I'm really proud of that fact. We pay over 42% of our sales out to our sales field. And I don't think there's another company that does that. And I'm really, really proud of that figure. And the other thing it did for me is it allowed me to go on this sort of wellness mission, because one of the things we added to it was a vacation month, because, you know, I just see people in this industry working themselves to death, and sometimes we need permission to take a month off. But when you ask a direct seller, they feel, you know, fearful, like my team is going to, you know, pull back, or, you know, my team is going to get rolled up. They're going to say I'm not a leader. So we really do try to build a culture where you can take a vacation month. And what we do is we freeze your rank. We look at the previous ranks you have and we freeze it at the lowest rank from the previous month. So usually that's the same for many women. And we pay you at that rank. And for me, that's so important for you guys to be able to take a breath and know that your business is stable. It's so incredibly important. Along that same lines, we wanted to build a company that wasn't just about going into home parties like until 11 o'clock at night. Many times I was like fearing for Xandra because I'm like, she's getting home at 1 o'clock in the morning, like 3 nights in a row this week. Like, I'm worried about her. And I didn't want to see her doing that. And so we have a company where we think there's a balance there where you should be doing one-on-ones. You should be doing personal interactions. You should be doing home parties because that really lights you up. When you engage with customers, when you help a woman put on makeup and she feels great, like there is no better feeling. You get so, excited. But at the same time, you should be able to find new customers, help new customers from the comfort of your own home, as often as possible as well. So, there is that balance that you can have in your business. And because the products are consumable, it really does make building your customer base in that way a lot easier. We do love that about sort of our mission and our wellness and our culture. I also, one of the things we do for executives is we pay them a lifestyle bonus. I didn't want to give a car. I didn't want to give a one-time bonus. If you're hitting that rank, let's give you that money every month because, that lifestyle bonus can be used in a million different ways. It can be used to help pay off a mortgage, to put in your kids' 529s, to get a car. But I didn't want to dictate what it is you needed to spend your money on. I just often tell my leaders, like, try to spend a little bit on yourself, a little something, every 5th month buy something somewhat pointless, but brings you so much joy. That's very important to me. And I think that as we went down this path, what I'm discovering and what I discovered last weekend at convention is we are all such a work in progress with our wellness. And if we can also, not just about giving women, money to be paid their worth to invest in their communities, but if you can give women wholeness in terms of their wellness, if they can feel so good in, their nutrition, in their mental state, in the way that their body is operating, that will bring happiness to them, to their families, to their team members, and it just moves out from there. So this sort of just, my why just keeps getting bigger and bigger and more exciting. And I'm like, we can do this. And as I do this, I always think, are people going to get on board with this concept? Like, is this just my why, or is everyone feeling this way? And what struck me this last weekend in Austin at our convention is women feel this way deep down in all of us. This is how we feel. We feel this sense of wanting to collaborate and not compete. Competition for us should be fun, and it should be silly, and it should be quirky, and it should be something that pushes us on our own, but never gets to that point of malice. But it should be a collaborative culture where you go out and you just feel great about, interacting with people, whether they're on your team or not. I mean, I almost died when we announced the top seller. We announced the 25 top sellers and the 25 top enrollers for the entire year. And when we announced the first award, that place erupted as if they were all like on her team. And it didn't stop from there. Every single person was an eruption of celebration. And I was like, that is like music to my ears. This is what it's all about. And everyone felt so good celebrating people because this is so what I innately feel as women. We are loving, empathetic, caring, collaborative people. That's how we operate. So we also wanted to build a culture where we felt that, where we could work in that and we could be successful working in that way. And what I have to say is here we are almost 3 years later, and I guess it's 2.5. I think I always jump the gun on this. 2.5 years later, and those of us who are still being collaborative and being, really putting out so much positive energy, whether the person is on our team or not, the success is just finding us. It's working, And we had a speaker talk about this. It's this concept of being from a place of abundance, you know, feeling at peace in who you are, and having these gifts of abundance just come to you. And it just feels right. And it just makes you happy and joyful. So I'm really excited that this why just keeps getting bigger. And as a result, our culture keeps getting better. So, you know, we have the compensation plan, we have the culture, and then I just want to talk about the products for a second. You know, I think people are really, you know, surprised when they get in this about how different we are when it comes to the culture, the product development. You know, we are not a company that decided to go into direct selling and, you know, let's just do it in beauty because beauty is a growing industry. So let's do it in beauty and we'll go get stock items from here and get stock formulas from there. That is totally not how we operate. We are very different. I mean, we've been in beauty for over 65 years. And so we operate backwards. We do a few things backwards. One is we always talk about quality first and we move backwards from there. So, you know, people are like, is your line complete? No, it's not complete, you know, because it's not going to be complete until the perfect, highest quality of every product is in front of us. And that's when we bring something into LimeLight, because that's just who we are. That's all we know. And I do think we have amazing responsibility to you all, because even though you're building your businesses, you're sort of at the mercy of corporate to give you great products, to make great decisions that are in your best interest. And so when it comes to the product quality, we really don't bring anything in unless we feel like it is absolutely perfect. And you're just going to look your friend in the eye and say, you have to have this. I mean, we are launching I Aspire Eye Serum. It took me a year and a half to develop that product. And I am like wildly in love with this product. And I think you're going to see before and afters on social media once people start using it that are just going to blow people's minds. So, you know, we really are about product quality. And when it comes to product pricing, I think we're very different. A lot of times people think like business women or businessmen, and they think, okay, we have this product, and if we cut this ingredient and we add more fillers and we do this, you know, we can bring the price down by 10% and that'll help our cost. Like, we don't think that way at all. We're like, load it up with the best ingredients and we'll figure out the price. And, you know, along the pricing, the consultants who worked on our compensation plan were giving me all this advice. And I was like, no, I don't want any of that advice. And they were like, well, you should take whatever the consumer is willing to pay and add 20% to it. And I'm like, why would I do that? I'm selling this to my friends. Like, if I can give it to them for this price and it creates a healthy company for us all and women are paid great rewards for their business, like, why am I going to gouge the customer's eye out? I do not see the point in that. These are women. And again, these are also people. I want to help our customers. So, you know, we are very careful about our pricing points. We do it so that you guys can be successful, the company can be successful, but that the consumer really feels value in what they're getting. And that has been the case across the board. So I think, you know, and the other thing is there's this concept in business school of this, it's called the dreaded middle. Like, you either have to be at the low end of a price point or a high end, very high end brand. And then there's this dreaded middle that you should never be in because it doesn't work. And I am like dead on in the dreaded middle and, you know, it's working. I mean, it is working because women understand that we come from a place of sincerity in our price point. So I'm like, you know, you can tell me in the books and you can show me graphs and charts, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to go with what you feel women would do and what feels comfortable to them. And this is what feels comfortable to me and to our customers. So yes, they are affordable and they get great results. And that, I think, is really why this company has blown up. It really has. So, you know, the products are amazing. They're at a great price point. The culture is phenomenal and the compensation plan is fantastic. It really is the most aggressive, highest paying compensation plan in the industry because that's my why, you know? So those three elements have come together to create this whirlwind that is LimeLight. So I'm really excited about our future, you know? And so I'll tell you a little about so what happened. So here we are chugging along, my niece Madison and I, and we're having fun. It's crazy. You know, we're there till 11, total startup mode, you know, making a ton of mistakes. But having this amazing sales field who was so forgiving, you know, I'll go online and be like, I totally screwed this up. Here's what we're going to do to make it better. You know, here's our plan. We're going to send new product out to everybody. You know, I'm the first to admit when I make a mistake. I totally will own up to it because, you know, I'm not perfect and I don't expect anyone else to be. So, you know, our sales field is really a big part of our corporate team. We feel like we're all one. I really do. I feel like they feel that way and I feel that way about them. They give me feedback and I'm like, oh my God, I love this idea. You know, the best ideas LimeLight has had have come from our beauty guides, and some of them, you know, are not even, they're like the lowest rank. They just have great ideas and they're very savvy and very strategic. So I really am grateful for that aspect of this business. You know, here we are chugging along and, you know, we get this email that L'Occitane wants to talk to us. And I'm like, I feel like this is a joke. This can't be real. But I answer the email and they fly in from France and they meet with us. And, you know, we were not expecting to partner with someone. Really was not our intention. We were totally self-funded as a family and we were feeling really good about it. But when I met Ronald Geiger, the CEO of L'Occitane, I was like, this person is a gift that is brought to me, and I'm not gonna refuse this gift because he totally gets what we're trying to do here. He totally gets that we're trying to pay you guys your worth. And he is so into, you know, ingredient consciousness, being eco-friendly. He's an amazingly caring person. You know, to give you a story, I was walking his factory and he's got a whole section on his foundation and what he does. And I'm looking at the statistics and I said, Ronald, how have I not read any of these statistics on your website or anything? Like, you guys don't promote the incredible amount of money you give away every year. And he said, well, that's not why we do it. You know, we don't do it to, you know, puff out our chest and be like, oh, look at how great we are. He goes, we do it because we really care about these people. And it was like, oh my gosh. And it kept building from there, just such incredible integrity. But he is just all about how women are an untapped resource, you know, across the world. And I am like so with him on that. So we were just going back and forth. I'm like, Ronald, like, we can build the most amazing company, one that no one has ever seen before. Like, we have to stop thinking like beauty brands. We have to stop thinking like direct sales brands. Like, let's think just what is in the best interest of women? What is in the best interest of this country? What's in the best interest of this world? And let's build it from there. And he was like, that's what we need to do, you know? And I said to him, at some point, you know, this company right now feels like a caterpillar to me. And we haven't even seen the butterfly that we're going to be. But like, with you on board, and if you trust me and you don't think I'm totally insane, like, let's do this. Let's build something incredible. So now we are partners with L'Occitane, and I am loving that partnership. It's a very different partnership. It's very hard for me to explain to people why that partnership works, or is different, you know, because they just have a very cynical view of partnerships, and I get it. But it is a very, very different partnership. So anyway, yes, law of attraction, absolutely. It totally worked. And you know, at the time that they reached out to me, I was totally at a place of peace. I was really, you know, even though like the world was collapsing around us and we had more orders than we could handle, like, I was at a place of peace. I felt very, very comfortable on where this company was going and what we were doing and our mission and all of that. So I totally agree with you. You know, and now we have this opportunity to go global, and it's just incredible. So, you know, we are going to be launching in Canada, hopefully by the end of the year. And the next company is Brazil. And you think, okay, why Brazil? And the reason why is because Ronald has a love for Brazil. He has a factory in Brazil, and Brazil is the most complicated place to launch. So he thought, let's launch there. And if we can launch in Brazil, every place else is going to be totally easy. So that's what we're doing. We're launching in Brazil next. And then it's going to be quickly after that, the EU. Asia is going to come much later. We really don't want to launch in Asia. Well, we're going to launch in Japan, but we do not want to launch in China until they get rid of animal testing, because we love our leaping bunny status. And I think that's going to be defunct. Animal testing will be defunct in China in the next couple of years. So we don't want to go in there until that's happening. And, there's just such possibilities about where this business could go. But that being said, international is exciting. But if you think about, this country, we haven't even scratched the surface. I mean, we have 17,000 active beauty guides. So that's the number we count. Those are the number of people who pay their web fee every month. We have 17,000 reps. That is like nothing in direct sales, absolutely nothing. So, when you think of where we could build and how much we can grow in this own country. I mean, there's states where we only have handfuls of people. The possibilities are endless. They really, really are. I don't think I don't think for LimeLight there's going to be such a thing as saturation. I really, really don't, for many, many years. So I think we have a lot to build, but I think there's enough variety in our skincare and our makeup products that saturation is it's not really going to happen. It's almost as if we're two different companies built into one. So you have to think about that, the product line itself, when you think about what is the saturation capacity, because you're going to have customers who are really into only the skincare and customers who are really into only the makeup products. And then you're going to have customers that are into both. But it does feel like two different companies at times, but I will tell you those skincare customers quickly become makeup customers and vice versa. So it's almost like, your customer base feels doubled at times. So that's a little bit about what's going on. I think Xandra wanted to, a lot of people don't know about LimeLight. I actually am shocked when someone, when I see like a LimeLight sticker or something on the back of someone's car or something. It's usually in my town because here I am in Ridgefield. I have, I don't know, like 20 people who are reps in this town, and I'll still meet people all the time who have no idea what LimeLight is. So, I really feel like you guys have the opportunity to help us build this here in this country. And then if you wanted to build a team abroad, if you're in the executive ranks, that's a possibility for you. And Alcone has such an amazing reputation in Canada and in Brazil. I mean, people from Brazil literally fly into New York, go to our store with rolling luggage, load up the rolling luggage and fly home. And we have relationships with some of the best makeup artists in Brazil, and they are so ready. Like the minute we announce we're in Brazil, they are going to go gangbusters. They're actually going to become beauty guides and build teams in those areas as well. But in a different way, they're not going to lead those teams. They're going to be something called star sponsors, which is a whole nother ball of wax. But so they're really just going to be there to hype people up and get them excited. And not lead them, but they can earn a separate commission for bringing them into the company, and then we'll be placing them on people's teams. So that's a whole nother thing that nobody knows about, but is going to make this a really great opportunity for people. So I'm excited. Like, the world is our oyster, and I just can't tell you how impressive our sales field is. I think that happens with a lot of direct sales companies. I think it's always amazing to see these women come together and create these amazing micro businesses, and just in the most amazing way. I have just been so impressed with the caliber of women who are in this business. And when they give me suggestions, they just give me the most amazing feedback and strategy and thoughtfulness behind their suggestions. And it's like, okay, let's do this. So I think I'm a little different as a CEO. I think people think that I'm, I don't know, this bigger person than I am. Really, all I do is I pull in threads from amazing, great ideas, and my incredible home office makes it happen. I mean, that's really all I do. And I'm just so lucky to be in this ride and being able to see the sales teams do their thing and see my home office do their thing and, see the magic happen and unfold in front of me. So, I'm definitely not someone anyone should be like, oh, she's phenomenal. I'm really not. I'm a mom of 3 who is incredibly passionate about my mission and incredibly passionate about women and want to see them succeed. That's it. So that's really LimeLight in a nutshell. If you guys, I'm getting a great feed here of questions. You guys should feel free to ask me any questions that you have about LimeLight. I'm totally open to answering them. Sandra, did I answer all these questions that you wanted me to? I don't even know. Sometimes I'm like rambling and I'm just going on, and you can't shut me up sometimes. I don't know if my feed is stopped. Keep talking. We want more. Well, I can give you, I know Sandra wanted me to talk about some of the products that that we've got in the pipeline. So I will definitely talk about that. We just, launched the eye serum. I am so excited about this marula oil that we have. It's called Midnight Oil, and it's a cleanser and it is a serum, and it is going to be a higher end product because it is handmade marula oil. They literally in Africa, in Madagascar, they literally cut open these nuts. It's the cutest thing. All right, I have to tell you a little story about this marula oil. So we're looking at the pictures and the video from our skincare chemist. She was at Madagascar and she's taking all this video, and you see the kids go out. She said they wake up, everybody wakes up every single day, and they all get dressed, and you got to see how they get dressed. They get dressed so beautifully with they paint their face, and they've got the bracelets that go up, and they're just absolutely stunning. And the kids go and they have baskets on their head, and they go and they gather all these marula nuts, and then they bring them over to the men of the village, and the men have machetes, and they literally put a marula nut in their hand and they chop it open. And then the women in the village scoop it out with these little things, and they put everything in this pile, and that's how they start gathering this marula oil. And so we are buying a ton of this from this village, and I'm so excited to support this village, who is just so resourceful and so incredibly motivated to build up their own little economy in their village. So they oh, this is so nice, Casey. Okay. I will tell, and that's a great question. I'll talk to you about that in a second. So, they pull this out, and so we're buying up all this marula oil, and we're making it into a cleanser. So I don't know if you guys have ever used an oil cleanser. My skin is dry and my niece's skin is oily, and we both used the marula oil cleanser, and we were both like blown away. So if you use the cleanser and the serum, it is so healthy for your skin. And it really, all of our skincare products, just so we're clear, none of it strips away any of your oils. The whole point of the skincare products is to really heal your skin cells, your own skin cells. We don't like the whole strip and replenish mechanism that many other brands do. We really do like to heal your own skin. We think that's the best way for you to see results as quickly as possible. Stripping your skin has a lot of other secondary bad effects. So anyway, so we're getting all this marula oil, and we used it, and it's just amazing. Now the thing is, it does not play nicely with makeup. So that's why we call it midnight oil, because we think it's a really good oil cleanser and serum to use at nighttime. And then during the day, you can use your Dream Clean or your Quench Cleanse. Again, very healing cleansers, the Sotox, the eye serum, all the other products, but this would be something that you can use. And for those of us who, have mature skin, it's just so nice when you get a series of products that that make your skin so healthy. I used to be, before LimeLight, on Obagi, and it was, I know, I think Sotox is almost back in stock. Don't worry. I used to be on Obagi, and it would cost me like $500 every 3 months to do this regimen where it would strip my skin, and I was trying to get rid of sunspots. And then when I had to test the LimeLight products, I stopped using that. And when I started using Dream Clean and Quench Cleanse, one at night, one in the morning, and I was using Sotox, and then I was adding Must Do and Skin Therapist, within like 6 weeks, my skin, all my spots went away. I had like big patches, those pregnancy patches, those all went away. And I was like, oh my gosh, why did I think, because I was getting it at a dermatologist's office, that it was any better? And why did I think that if it had chemicals, it was better? I have totally run victim to this like huge, big business marketing machine. And so, that's when it like hit me like a light bulb, like chemicals does not mean better. In fact, it's quite the opposite. So, I really am a huge believer in adding to the line in that way. So we have the midnight oil. Someone just asked me my position on palm oil. Really, first of all, we have to be very, very careful because, there's a lot of information and there's a lot of people who get really, really fired up about causes, and it's very important. This is again why you need to trust your leader. It's very important that everyone understand the sources from which they get their ingredients. And we understand the sources from where we get all of our ingredients. We really do. We are on our vendors like white on rice about where they get absolutely everything. And we do have palm oil in our brush cleaner. And when that came in, we said, like, where is this palm oil coming from? Because many of palm oil is stripping a lot of the environments where amazing creatures live, gorillas. And so we said, where are you getting our palm oil from? We really need to know where this is coming from. And we got sustainability certification from all these sources. So we are gathering all of that information to make it public for you all, because we are really it is very important to us that we are giving our money to the right people, to the right villages, to growing economies, not to people who are stripping their resources. That's not what we're about. So we are careful about that. We are getting even more careful about it and making sure that we have documentation on everything. So that's my position on palm oil. You have to be very, very careful about where you source your palm oil, but there is sources of palm oil where they are very careful about the environment from which they extract the palm oil, and the creatures that live in that environment. So yes, that is very important. But you have these massive beauty brands coming through and stripping these areas for the palm oil, and that is absolutely not what we want. Same thing with our shea butter. Same thing with all of our ingredients. One of our vendors was telling us how she was so excited because she was in I think it was Australia, and she was riding with this gentleman, and he kept stopping and he kept grabbing this bark, this particular bark, and she was saying to him, like, well, what are you doing? He says, oh, I only get this bark when it's on the ground. I don't ever pull it from anything, any of the trees. And so, one of our ingredients is bark, and that is in the Mask of Zen, and it actually comes from this vendor who drives around and he literally picks it up off the ground and he will not pull it from a tree. So it's that kind of stories that you really, really need to be engaged in with your vendors and making sure that you understand the sources. I think I've gone on for too long about that. Maybe I haven't, I don't know. Yes, cinnamon bark. I think, am I saying that right? I hope I am. Yes, Mask of Zen I love. My daughter came down. She is a teenager. She came down one day and her face was all broken out. It was like she hit puberty overnight, and I started giving her a whole regimen for acne, and it was clear in like 3 days. So I'm really a huge fan of the outcome of our skincare for those who suffer from acne. It really is so, so helpful. As well, I really, the eczema, things like that, we have amazing products for that. Personalities in direct sales, anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. And I don't mean to minimize the leaders on this call and the people who have accomplished so much, because it's hard work. You have to put in so much hard work. But a huge part of my speech that I gave at convention was, honest to goodness, if you look at our leaders, there's no common thread other than their ability to understand that they could do it and showing up every day and making it happen. That's the common thread. But there is no other sort of magic skill set, whatever, that is going to make you more successful than someone else. It truly is two things. It is a mindset to understand that you can overcome any obstacle and you can do this. You have everything in you to be successful. And the second thing is showing up every single day and being consistent with what you do, and doing it from your heart and with integrity. People build their business very differently, and all of them are successful. So you shouldn't say, well, I don't no, I don't like social media. I don't like social media. If you go to my website, my social media channels, I barely post because it's not something that I'm connected with in a way. I really love meeting with people one-on-one, and then you have some people who say like, I'm petrified of meeting with people in person. Well, you don't have to do that day one. Build up your confidence, build up your skill set, start small, get yourself some small wins, do it with from a place that's comfortable, but then understand that you're going to have to push yourself out of that, because that's what every entrepreneur has to do. They have to push themselves to new levels. They have to push through the fear gates. And if you can do that as an entrepreneur, you'll be very successful. I don't know if there's any other questions. If there's no other questions, I hear my kids are still awake, so I might run and try to put them to bed. I wasn't really the best mom while we were at convention. As a matter of fact, I was at the cocktail party and my husband had already flown home to take my one daughter to camp. And so it was me with my two kids, and I'm at this cocktail party with thousands of women. And I'm like, I have no idea where my son is right now. He's 9. I shouldn't be laughing about that. It's awful, but you do the best that you can, right? I'm not an octopus like Xandra. If I had more tentacles, I probably could wrangle him and go around the room. But I definitely want to put my kids to bed for the first time in a long time and get us back on track. So, but if you have any other questions, you can absolutely ask the leaders that are in here. They can reach out to me. I'm very open with my email. My email is michele@limelightbyalcone.com, and Michele is spelled with 1 L. And what I love about that is, people are very respectful of that, and they ask me questions. I'm happy to answer them. I really do love engaging with people. So feel free to ask me questions or ask the leaders in your group questions, and we'll definitely get you the most honest answer that we can, so you can make the best decision about whether or not LimeLight is right for you. But have a great night all, and thank you so much for giving me your time tonight and allowing me to talk to you. All right, bye.